Hello. So welcome to Weeknotes for September 14th. This will be a bit of an abbreviated Weeknotes, I guess, because I was sick for half this week, which not fun. Don't recommend it. I'm feeling better now, but yeah, rough couple days. I guess there's a couple things I would highlight. First is I've been doing some scanning, and thank you to many of you who've been helping out with this, just basically trying to map who are the key people, the key organizations, key places you go, events, stuff like that within the public sector innovation space. Who are you following? Who's inspiring you? And we've already gotten like over 70 responses to the survey, which is amazing. So thank you. If you filled it out, if you haven't, it's still open. So go and fill it out. But I started doing the analysis this week, and also there's some interesting conversations I had, for example, with Thea about how it's interesting that a lot of the people that came to the top of the list are people I recognize, that she recognizes. I mean, she was actually at the top of the list. Well done, Thea. And it's just a recognition that there are these echo chambers, these bubbles that we live in, and it just really, you could see the bubble in the survey. And there's so many voices that are not on this list that should be, or maybe are only on this list once or twice. There's like 200 names that are on this list, so there's actually a fairly large number of people. But, how do we break out of our bubbles? How do we hear new voices? And part of it's geography, part of it's language. But there's huge value in finding ways to get out of these echo chambers. And so I've been thinking a lot more and more about what bubbles do I live in and how do I break out of them and find new inspiration. So that's sort of one thing that I'm sort of ruminating on a bunch. The second one is this idea of working out loud and in the open. Dan, who's a good friend of mine, he just started a new job and has been writing week notes. That has been really fun to read and sort of be inspired by the stuff that he's doing right now. Yeah, it's just it's just a reminder of how back in the early days when I worked in 10 years ago when I worked in the government of Canada, we were so inspired by the week notes that came out of GDS at the time. They were half baked and people were figuring stuff out, and that was inspiring for us. And it's hard to work out loud, it seems like these days. There's, fear of judgment, fear of consequences from, political consequences, but it is so valuable if we can find ways of working out loud. And my hope is that Civic Punks, this place here, can be a place for us to work out loud more. The work I'm doing with Apolitical around our communities, again, that's another meant to create sort of these safe spaces for public servants to feel comfortable working out loud and putting out things that are half-baked or still figuring stuff out. I think that's really important. Yeah, so a bit of abbreviated, shorter week notes. Yeah, hopefully this is helpful. Excited to see what, you know what, why don't you create your own week note? I'd love to hear it. And talk to you next week.